Hello, this is Malaya. Welcome back. Today I have a very special guest, and her name is Eleet. We were neighbors for many years. She was born here in the community, and basically, we want to start off with a disclaimer. Now, Eleet, did I drag you here or did I force you to come and say anything that you didn't want to say?
No, I decided on my own to come.
Okay. And how old are you again?
I'm 19 years old.
Okay. So basically, we got together because there were some things that you felt it was time to share. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you ready?
Mhm.
Okay. So let's just start off with the fact that you were born here in the community. And what was it like growing up in the kingdom of God, or the KOG as we like to call it?
Well, I mean, growing up, being young, it was my home. It was supposed to be my home. Well, to me, it felt like I didn't have such a pleasant childhood because my parents wasn't here all the time.
Hmm. Okay, so if they weren't here, where were they?
They were in London, dealing with the community in London.
So, were they on what you call a mission for the community, for the KOG? A lot of times people are sent out of the community to different locations around the world to represent the community on what we used to call a mission. Is that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
See, they were originally in Bermuda.
Mm-hmm.
They had started a community in Bermuda,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't work out. Then they were somewhere up in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Then they came to Israel. And from here, they went to London on a mission
Mm-hmm.
to begin to bring people into the community.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
And to
so it
do
was like a
something.
recruiting type of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now your father was actually a priest in the community, was he not?
He still is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So I remember him in his long white robes and all of the announcements. The priest would go around and read announcements, and I remember him and all of it. We were. How many people did we have in the house? We must have been about 20 or 30 in each house, right?
It was a lot.
Mm-hmm. So, in any place in the world, growing up can be difficult. Do you feel as though your life was especially difficult?
Well, me, as I was being young, it wasn't too much I understood.
Mm-hmm.
But as growing up, everything became more difficult for me. And because the way we was taught, we were so isolated from the world.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say that we don't have bad people around, because no matter where you go, you're going to have somebody bad.
Everywhere.
But in the community, I just don't like the way they will present a white person. They can be really, really, truly, truly racist.
Mm-hmm. So you felt like growing up in the community, they promoted racism.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, did you have a lot of brothers and sisters?
Well, I have one brother,
Mm-hmm.
and I have 6 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I have one sister that I've never met before,
Mm-hmm.
from my father. Her mother and my father separated a long time before he came to the nation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so growing up in a racist community, or did they actually teach you to be racist?
Well, in their ways, they wasn't teaching you to be to them. It seemed like they wasn't teaching you to be racist. They just trying to teach you who the bad people here. But I really feel like, to me, it was being racist because every time they want to point out a white person, they want to point them out as the white dog, the devil, the demon, the this, the that.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say that you don't have racist people, because you do have racist people. But you can't point everybody out as that.
Mm-hmm. So basically, you just grew into the knowledge that just because a person is black or white or whatever color that they happen to be doesn't mean that they're necessarily bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how did you find that out? Do you have other friends outside of the community?
Yes, I have all kinds of friends. I have Arab friends. I have Sudanese friends. I have white friends. I have friends from the nation that I've grown up with. I know all kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be in this program where we went on this trip called the Survivor Run, and we would be out in the mountains.
Survival Run. Oh, Survival Run. Okay.
And we'll be out in the mountains for a couple of days, and it'd be all different kinds of races of people, and I've met a lot of people, and to my knowledge, I never thought anyone was bad. Ever since I was growing up, I never thought that a person can be bad to a person.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to learn that the hard way. But then I learned that you have people that are nice and people that are mean.
So basically what you're saying is just growing up, you just grew to understand that people are people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so that survival run helped you to know that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, what I wanted to ask you basically was, why did you choose to come? What did you want to say? What did you want to talk about?
See, I've heard about this show that you had and these videos, but I've never really seen them.
Mm-hmm.
And then one time, when a situation came up with one of my friends, and I saw you put the video on. Well, I thought maybe to myself, maybe I could say something because people were saying things about her video, and was saying things about her, and I just think they didn't have any understanding about what she was trying to say exactly or what she was explaining exactly.
Okay. Now, just for our viewers to get an understanding of what Eleet is saying, I did a video, and this was months ago. And this particular video was done on a young girl. She was in the 11th grade, right?
Yeah.
Okay, in the 11th grade. And she was raped and drugged by one of her very close friends. And so we aired that. Subsequently, it was taken down because there is a court case that is underway, and we didn't want to do anything to complicate that situation. So there was a lot of talk going around the community about this particular case and what happened. And so this is what Eleet is talking about. Now, since then, things have kind of cooled off because it was like a viral type of situation. Everyone was chiming in and had something to say about it. Even though we won't go into any particulars, just in general, how did it make you feel for your friend, someone that you grew up with for so many years and knew, because you knew both of them? How did it make you feel? What was it that you wanted to say specifically about that?
I've known both people from both sides of the story, the girl and the male. I've known them for a long time. And what did I want to say about?
In regards to that.
Okay. Me personally, I wasn't taking no sides. I wasn't ready to hate nobody.
Right.
Because on my behalf, I really don't know what happened that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened when she was with him, and I don't know exactly what happened. So I can't sit here and say, well, I hate him because she said he did this. But on the truth side, I really don't know what really happened.
I don't think anybody really knows what happened, and that's why we leave these things up to the judicial system for them to, you know, find out, get all of the evidence and weigh it and make a decision on that. But how did it make you feel as a young woman growing up in the community? How did that particular case make you feel? What prompted you to want to speak on that?
First of all, they all.
It's okay.
In this situation
Mm-hmm.
that's happening now, or the situation that happened then,
Mm-hmm.
to me personally,
Mm-hmm.
they shouldn't have been messing around with drugs. Period.
Okay. So basically, that's your statement that.
But as I said, somebody stated on Facebook that if we was to close our eyes, if anybody was to close their eyes, it would become dark. But I'm telling them that they don't know what it feel like, because I know that I've tried something before,
Mm-hmm.
and it make you have this feeling like this is it, this is the end.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a totally different feeling than when you close your eyes to go to sleep. Then when you closing your eyes, you think you would never open them again.
So these are, you're basically saying that these are the effects of the drugs. Somebody made a comment that that you didn't agree because you have actually experimented enough to know that they were making some unfounded statements about the drugs themselves.
Yeah.
And you wanted to sort of like address that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
And basically, most of those people that was talking on Facebook, they got on there, put those videos on because they was trying to protect their boy. He's my friend, he's my boy, I'm gonna protect him. But it happens a lot
Mm-hmm.
where somebody is guilty, or they can be not guilty,
Mm-hmm.
but because they feel that you're their friend, that they feel that they're their friend,
Mm-hmm.
they would do anything to protect them.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they know that they're guilty, they would do anything to protect them.
Right. So do you feel as though that's a big problem in the community? Would you say?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to say for sure, I'm not going to say he's guilty or he's not guilty, because I don't know.
We don't know. You're right. You're absolutely right.
So I can't say out of my mouth for sure what I know is what it is when I don't know.
Right. But what you're saying, it sounds like what you're saying. I don't want to put words in your mouth. It sounds like what you're saying is all of the talk that was going around made it sound like the people that were doing the talking knew for sure what happened.
Yeah.
And when nobody really knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, I just want to ask you about something, because I had heard of an incident, and I have to confess, I didn't address it publicly, but I had heard of an incident where there was a brother in the community that had attacked two girls in the community. And he was attacked basically, well, I'll let you go into the why, but I just want to say publicly, I had no idea that it was you, you know, because since I have not been a part of the community, there are a lot of children that have grown up and we've lost contact with each other. But Eleet is one that lived next door, and I got to know her very well. And I was very shocked and dismayed to hear that she was the actual girl that was the victim in this beating. Would you like to talk about that?
Okay. One day it was a very nice day. I came to school very happy, prepared to learn. So we all came to school, it wasn't a lot of us in class. It was just a few of us. Probably like the most was 10 of us.
Mm-hmm.
So we are sitting in class and the the class brought up a subject about Atur Aliel. And what they were saying, they were calling him a pedophile.
Okay, now just one moment. Now, you're talking about a brother that is part of the community that you're still a part of.
Yeah.
Now, are you not concerned that making this kind of statement is going to put you in some kind of jeopardy?
Well, before then I was, but after now I've thought about it, and to me really, there really can't be no more, damage than what have been done to me.
Okay, so we're talking about a person that is named Atur Aliel, which means crown brother in the Hebrew language, crown brother Aliel. Okay, so go on.
And so the class was talking about him, and they wouldn't pay any attention in class. But this particular day, I was sitting there, waiting for him to begin class. But the rest of the students decided that today they wasn't going to listen to him because they've heard of things he have done.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular, the class before that, he was saying, if you need help, you can come past my office. And one of the students said out loud, why would I come to a pedophile's office? Why? So you can do something to me? So as this was going on, he was trying to explain the pieces of a computer. He was taking the computer apart because, he was teaching us graphics, and he had broke the computer down, took it in pieces. And as he was trying to explain the pieces, the students behind me, because I was sitting up in front of the class, the students behind me were talking, and running their mouth. And the bell rung for the break. So he got an attitude, and he slammed the pieces back into the box, with an attitude. So me and one of the girls in my class got into a little conflict. And so while we were going back and forth, all of a sudden, I just feel myself up in the air being thrown across the table. So while that's happening, my class is trying to, they're in shock right now. So they trying to, register in their brain what's going on right now.
So you're saying this just came right out of the blue?
Yeah. It was during a break. He was supposed to have been out of class. It was during a break. And I was having a little conflict with one of the girls in my class. And out of nowhere, he just attacked me. And so I told him to get his hands off of me. And it just kept on going. I've walked out the classroom, and he still hitting me once I got out the classroom. And I kept on telling him, don't touch me.
No, wait a minute. How, in what manner was he hitting you?
Well, he tossed me over a table.
Okay, he did that. Okay.
He punched me.
With his fist?
Yes. He smacked me.
In your face?
And then one of the girls that I know was standing out in the hallway when we came out to the hallway. And he was still hitting me with his open hand. And she was telling him to get off me. And I was telling him to leave me alone. And I told him after this day, he would never talk to me again. He would never touch me again, talk to me, look at me again. So while I was walking out, she stopped me because I had a really, really bad temper.
This is your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she stopped me and she was like, Eleet, just calm down. Because I know how you can be when you have a temper. You can hurt somebody when you have your temper, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Calm down, take a deep breath. So I was like, no. I'm going to go to the police right now and I'm going to let them know what happened. So as I was storming out the gate, one of my teachers stopped me.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, Eleet, take a deep breath, calm down. Your mother's on the way.
Okay.
We want to go and call her.
Okay.
So as I was sitting here, Scandeve walked into the gate. And he was asking me what happened.
Now, is he a principal?
No,
This is
Scandeve
another.
used to be one of the
This is another
teachers.
brother. So what is his role in the school?
He used to be a Masoret teacher. You know, teach about the community, the culture.
Okay, so he's a teacher.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the school that you're talking about, just for the edification of our viewers, is a school where all of the pupils are children that belong to the community.
Yeah.
And the school was designed, and the curriculum was designed especially to supplement the teachings of the African Hebrew Israelite community. And so many of the teachers over there come from the community, and some do not. But Scandeve is one of the, used to be one of the administrators, was he not?
Yeah.
Okay, so he stopped you. But before you go on, I just have, there's a question in my mind that is just leaping out. And now, what in the world provoked him to attack you? What in particular was it that made him attack you? Do you know?
I don't know. To say, until this day, I really don't know what made him attack me.
But you were having an altercation with another girl.
Yeah.
Okay, did he attack her as well?
No.
Okay, so you were sitting in the front,
Mm-hmm.
and you were getting into it with another girl, and so in just with the limited knowledge that I have, I wasn't there. It sounds like you might have just been in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so was he saying anything to you while he was punching you?
No, he wasn't. I didn't hear him say anything.
He just went on a tantrum on you.
Yeah, he told me get out. He was telling me get out the classroom. He told me to get out, and I told him, well, I know how to walk with my own 2 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And he said get out, and that's when I flew over the table.
Okay, now, you know, I'm just trying to visualize what's going on here, because it just sounds so strange for something like this to happen. Had you taken part in the discussion about him being a pedophile? Did he overhear you say something? Maybe that was the reason he...
No.
No? Just out of the blue?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
And so Scandeve was walking into the gate, and he was asking me what happened. So as I was telling Scandeve what happened, my mother had walked into the gate.
Mm-hmm.
So Scandeve was telling my mother that she needed to take me down to the police station. But my mother was saying she didn't want to get all involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
And Scandeve was like, he don't even know that we can have the police here right now to arrest him, to take him out of here right now. So my mom grabbed me, and she began to calm me down.
This is your mother,
Yeah.
Elon's mother. Mm-hmm.
And she began to calm me down because I see him walking out the classroom, see him coming out the building around this point. And I picked up one of the bricks off of the side of the gate.
Oh.
And I was going to hit him with it.
Mm-hmm.
But my mama grabbed me, and you know, she was telling me, Eleet, calm down. Take a deep breath. So I got home that day. And my brother come home early from work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he get this information. How did it get to him?
Mm-hmm.
But he came in with an attitude early from work, and
Mm-hmm.
he was talking to my mother. Guess they was having a fuss about why she didn't let me go down to the police station or whatever. Then I had a talk with one of my boyfriends, which is,
How many do you have?
well, this is it. I have
What are your
boyfriends.
friends?
Yeah, I have friends.
Oh,
that
your
are
male friends.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I mean by boyfriends.
Okay.
And, you know, I was talking to him about what happened that day in school.
Okay.
And so he was like, so you want me to do something about this? So I was telling him, yeah, you know, because it just don't seem like nothing has been done. And me by myself, I just wasn't strong enough myself to do anything back.
Okay, so did you go to the police?
No, I never ended up going to the police.
So what happened to him at the school? Was any action taken against him at the school?
Well, he was fired from the school.
He was fired.
Yeah.
Okay. And, okay, so at school he was let go. But now as far as the community itself, the leadership in the community, was anything done? Was there an investigation of any kind?
Well, they came to my house the same night, and they said they was doing an investigation. Well, to me it just seemed like they was trying to see what was the wrong in me. What did I do exactly? He told them I done cursed at him, I did this, I done did that. I didn't say anything to him, but told him to get his hands off of me.
Oh, okay, so when he said you cursed at him, that was that day, earlier that day?
Yeah, talking about
All right.
everything that happened.
Okay.
So they came, you know, talked to me about what happened, and you know, so on and so on. And after that, the subject never came up again.
What do you mean? Are you saying that was the end of it?
Yeah.
So as far as the community was concerned, the case was closed. And he received no type of punishment. Okay. Now, how did that make you feel?
Angry. Really, really angry.
Why do you think that he was being singled out as a person in the community that was a pedophile?
Because stories were going around about him. People would come, I had someone approach me and a friend of mine personally about a situation. And they were saying that they were investigating because Artuario have did some things. And the word that was going around was Artuario was a pedophile. So, you know, teenagers always running at the mouth.
Okay, but up until this point, that was the extent. There was actually just a few questions asked to find out what you did to provoke him. There were other rumors that were going on around about him, but nothing was really done about it. Okay. So, was there ever any kind of apology at all?
He came to my house and apologized. And he told my mom to ask me to tell my friends not to beat him up because my friends was gonna beat him up. And my mom came in the room, you know, you got some friends that's gonna beat up Artuario, and you know, he wanted me to call him off. I said, no, I'm not gonna do it. I said, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna do it.
Okay. So, and this is based on what he did to you. I thought there was another girl. For some reason, I thought I had heard that there was another girl also that was involved in this beating, but it was only you. Okay, that's terrible. Okay, and now nothing was done to you, was there? I mean, they didn't put you on any kind of restrictions or punishments as a result of this, did they?
No.
Okay. Okay, so basically he was let go. Now, did you say that there were friends of yours that said that they were actually violated by him?
Yeah.
They told you this?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I suppose one day they'll get around to it,
Yeah.
but no time soon,
No.
huh? Okay. Now, in these last few years, you have really been through a lot, Eleet. I remember you telling me that you had went on a vacation with your parents.
Yeah.
You had went to London and you came back. And can you just tell us a little bit about what happened?
Well, I was in 11th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents had decided, well, this summer that they was gonna take me and my youngest sister to London, out of the country, something different. So when I got to London, my email was telling me that they didn't want to let me back in school for the last year.
Mm-hmm.
To my knowledge, I had no reason why. I had no reason why they didn't want to let me back in school.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got back to Israel, I was talking to my principal, who is my principal, and I wrote a letter, I was like, I really need to finish this last year. I really want to finish this last year.
You want to graduate?
I want to graduate.
Mm-hmm.
So then one of my teachers was talking to me one day, and she was telling me that she asked why I come back to school. Why am I not in school? And she said they told her I was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why I couldn't come back to school.
Mm-hmm.
But to everybody's knowledge, they just know they found out I was pregnant. They don't know that I didn't get pregnant until like 2 to 3 months after the fact that they, closed off the conversation and said I couldn't come back to school.
So it sounds like what you're saying is they just use that as an excuse for you not to be able to graduate.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Eleet, there's just been so much that has been centered around you. And I'm trying to convey to our audience, because you're saying these things and they sound almost a little disjointed, so I'm trying to sort of put all of the pieces together to form a clear picture of what really happened to you. Because here you are, you're in a situation, you're a young girl growing up in a community. Did you all have any kind of sex education in school? Was that allowed? You did?
We had biology classes.
Okay, now that's different.
No.
Or was it a sex education, or was it just biology? Because biology is like the human anatomy, and you dissect animals and...
No, we didn't dissect no animals, but we learned, the pregnancy and all of that, the sexual and everything.
Okay, you learned about what happens when you...
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you did have a little.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. So now, would you say that in the community, just based on the teachings of the community with the adults and everything else, would you say that this is something that one of your peers would feel comfortable going to their parent or going to an adult in the community and talking about this kind of thing?
Well, most of them don't.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is, most of them don't.
Mm-hmm. All right. So there's a lot of sexual activity that's going on. There's a huge amount of girls in the community that are coming up pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
There are rumors of incest. There's all kinds of things, sexual activity that's going on in the community. Now, you yourself, from what I understand from the personal conversations that we had, you really felt at a point where this last incident where you were physically attacked, it made you feel bad because had you not been molested yourself?
Yes. Well, when that happened, I was 13 years, 11. I was 11 years old.
Mm-hmm. Without giving any names, could you explain how that made you feel and what were the circumstances?
It made me feel, the worst about myself.
Mm-hmm. And you weren't able to talk about this with any your parents?
It took me a long time to talk, but I've talked about it with my mother.
Oh, that's very good. Very good. Okay. So you were 11 years old.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you feel like, now your parents traveled a lot?
Yeah.
Okay, so how did that leave you feeling at 11 years old? Was this something that happened repeatedly?
Yes.
Okay. So really, the anger that you experienced by being physically attacked was a culmination of all kinds of abuse, sexual abuse that you had already experienced.
Yes.
And then what's happening with Nodelia is happening with a lot of girls and boys, I have to say. A lot of boys in the community are being sexually exploited, and they don't feel that they can really talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that's an accurate description of what's going on?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if you had something to say to them, a message or anything, what would you say? You were sexually molested repeatedly. You were physically attacked by someone that was allegedly a pedophile, and even though you had all these witnesses, he was never found guilty in the eyes of the community, and he's still a leader within the community. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Or he still maintains his status as a crown brother?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there was no victory there for you. There was no type of justice for you.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, you end up pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
But they put you out of school before that even happened.
Yeah.
Now, why do you feel that they would do that?
Because I was too much for them. I didn't let my Marcia knock me around like she used to do to the rest of the students. Because Marcia, she can be very, very mean sometimes. And she have her days when she want to pick on somebody. And she pick and choose who she going to pick on and who she's going to leave alone. Mm-hmm. And I just happened to be one of those people that she was going to pick on.
Are you saying that this is something that she did a lot?
Mm-hmm.
So she bullied you?
Yeah.
Were you bullied by other students? I mean, what was it like going to that school?
Well, growing up, I was bullied by my classmates. Okay, I was in 2 different classes. First, I was in a class with people my age. I was I was in a class right under Gani.
Mm-hmm.
Under your daughter Gani.
Mm-hmm.
And for 6 years, I have been bullied by the people in that class. I've been called fat, pee-pee pot, this, that. I've been stabbed by one of my classmates.
No, you weren't.
My nose been broken by one of my classmates.
Oh, Eleet.
I had chairs and tables thrown at me.
What? By other students?
Yeah.
You know, this brings to mind the story of another student that was a student in Akva and how he was bullied. And I'm sure there are probably many stories, but this particular story was actually published not too long ago, and it's called The Lies of Heaven. I did an interview with his mother, Sister Rakaya. The name of the book is Lives of Heaven, and it's by Kevin Stone. Kevin Stone, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Stone. So you can go on Amazon and get that book. But there's a lot of bullying that's going on over there. There's so much that's going on over there. It's like another world when you enter those gates. So please continue. Go on.
I was considered a fat, nasty, ugly girl in my class. I was a bright student, really smart. And as the older we got in the class was the more I was picked on, and my scores have become from good to terrible. Then that's when I started getting my boyish personality. And then I remember Aturi, he used to always have us read the citation in class, right before class, and it was called I Can. And you know, and then it was saying I can do anything, I can be anything, you know. And he used to have us reading that every day before class. At this time, we had a principal in our class, in our school called Netta. So, because my scores have gotten so terrible, when my class was leaving 6th grade to 7th grade, I stayed back at class. So I was in this class, and because I had picked up this bad habit of being mean and angry all the time, I was being very mean and angry to my classmates. Then that started problems towards them because they haven't really done anything to me. So.
Okay, now I'm trying to understand what you're saying. Because these are the same students that bullied you, right?
No, I went down to class.
Oh, I understand. Okay. So what you're saying is that's sort of like a form of self-preservation or protection when you become very hard, you know, and maybe even sometimes aggressive just in order to defend yourself from being hurt by other people. Okay, so please go on.
So being in the 6th, you know, I repeated the 6th grade. So being in class with them, you know, for the first year, it was good. And then as I got in the 7th grade, it became harder. Because the bullying started again. And I had a really bad temper. I had a really crazy temper. It was really terrible. And one day we was in school, and me and the girls we were playing gumi. It's this game we done made up in the community called gumi.
And you have an elastic stretch band, and you put it around your legs, right?
Yeah.
And you jump across it. It's sort of like jump rope, but it's gumi, and your legs move the gumi back and forth. So what happened?
And one of the boys kept on pulling my hairpiece off my head. And I was trying my best to control my anger. Now I told him leave me alone. I don't want to get mixed up in this. I'm playing a game. You can't see I'm not paying no mind to you. So he kept on doing it and kept on doing it repeatedly. So I had this pocket knife in my teeth that I have taken from my oldest brother. He was in the military at this time. It was his military knife. And so I said, you want me to be angry? You get angry. And I pulled out the pocket knife, and just as I was going to push it inside of him, one of my teachers grabbed my hand.
Oh my goodness. Well, look, I think being a youngster is one of the hardest things especially today, in today's time where violence is actually promoted. You know, with the guns and the this and the that and gore and blood and all of these things they have become insensitive to these things, insensitive to people suffering in pain. You know, so and it's terrible that you went through those things. But if I had to ask you, out of all that you've experienced, Eleet, now you are a beautiful young woman with a beautiful young son that is being very good in the back. He's not crying right now. And
he probably don't want to sleep.
if you had something that you wanted to share with the other young girls or even some of your other peers, the ones coming up, to the youth, I would say, even to the adults, what would your message be right now?
Well, the message from me
Mm-hmm.
is that things happen, stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wasn't expecting to have a son, but I got pregnant. Now I have my son. I love him. But if you were to get pregnant, I want to tell you, don't you ever in your life let somebody tell you he was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have plenty of those walking up to me in the community, telling me I made a mistake. One told me that I've made a mistake. I know you made a mistake, this and this and that. I really love my son.
Mm-hmm. He's so beautiful.
Can't nobody take him away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were to get pregnant, me personally, I don't support abortions. I don't support no type of abortions whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
That explains why I have my baby today.
Mm-hmm.
And his father also don't support abortions.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. It's really hard when you're young,
Mm-hmm.
when you're really a child yourself, trying to raise a child.
Yes.
It's really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
But it was your decision to do it. And now that you have a child, it was your decision to keep the child. So now you have to do the best. Your best to make sure that child don't get sick, to make sure he have the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want to say to my girlfriends that are pregnant now. No matter what happened, no matter what kind of somebody give to you, don't never let nobody let you down. Right now, the only care you have right now is for that child, to make sure they get old enough and strong enough to deal with themselves when they step out your house. When they out your house and on their own, they gotta know how to take care of themselves too.
Well, I you know, I'm listening to you and I understand why you're saying the things that you're saying. But in terms of preparation for life, okay, it doesn't sound like you got a lot of preparation, and maybe there's never enough preparation for life.
I was about to say that.
At any age, you know. But you have options now. You know, our youth are now going into the military, and they have a lot more opportunities to advance themselves than there used to be. So, is that sort of like a conflict? The world is calling on you, you know, to come and partake, and a community that's calling on you to partake. Will you be one of the young sisters that will be participating in plural marriage or divine marriage, as you
I
like
don't
to call it?
support it myself. I don't support it.
That's not in your plans.
No.
Okay. So, what are your plans for the future?
Well, before I had my wonderful son, I had applied to the school in London.
Mm-hmm.
It's a performing arts school.
Oh my.
And I was on my way to school when I found out I had a dare. So now I have to wait until he get a
Who
little
is your son?
Yes. Who is my son. And now I have to wait until he get older. But I am going to apply myself to the school again. And, you know, go over to London with my Abba, you know, go to school, get my degree. And hopefully, I mean, well, me, I was either wanted to become a designer or a dance teacher.
Choreographer?
Yeah.
That's wonderful. It's good to know that you have set your sights towards something and you're not letting anything keep you down. I just want to say thank you to Eleet for coming and sharing all of your ideas and your thoughts with us. And hopefully her message will inspire other young daughters like you, you know, and that are also maybe going through some of your trying times. It's not, the most important thing is not where you came from.
Yeah.
It's where you're going.
Yeah.
Okay? So, thanks again, Eleet.